Hello students, welcome back to the online CET classes of second year syllabus. Today we are going to discuss the second year syllabus from the first chapter, that is electrostatics. Right? Okay, basically electrostatics deals with the study of rest charges. Now we are going to discuss electric charge and field. So before going to the CET questions or MCQ questions, we have to discuss synopsis things or formulas on electric charge and field. Right? Okay, electric charge and field, that we are going to concentrate here. Charge and field. Right? So charge, it is a property of a matter which experience the force on other particles, and charge is having a mass, that you may concentrate the points here. Charge can transfer from one body to another body at the same time associated with mass, and it is conserved quantity. Charge, it is conserved quantity. You may concentrate these points, right? At the same time, if the body loses the electrons, then the body becomes positively charged. If the body gains the electrons, then it becomes negatively charged. If the body is having equal number of positive charges and negative charges, then it will be in equilibrium state or in neutral, what we call. Right? This is the basic idea of charge. Now, say, okay, see, here you may concentrate here how the charges are distributed on the different shape of bodies. Based on that distribution of charge on the body, we have divided into three types. That is, first one is line distribution. See, just I will scroll here, just you may concentrate on this. Okay, first one is line charge distribution, surface charge distribution, and volume charge distribution. See, to find the density of charge distribution on a straight wire like this, on a straight wire, or in this form, if the wire is having in this circular manner, what is the charge density? If I want to find that, and this is the definition or formula of the linear charge distribution, and lambda stands for linear charge density. Lambda is equal to charge by length, that is equal to linear charge density. Lambda stands for linear charge density. Similarly, here they have given the unit and dimension. I am not going to concentrate on that. Okay. Next, surface charge distribution. Surface charge distribution. See, that is surface charge density denoted by sigma. So, sigma is equal to charge divided by area. This sigma is called surface charge density. Right? How the charges are distributes on different shape of a area. This is line charge distribution. This is surface charge distribution or area charge distribution. Okay. Now, third one, that is volume charge distribution. See, here we have volume charge distribution. See, volume charge distribution denoted by rho. Rho is equal to charge divided by volume. Here he has given the definition, just you can go through this. Rho is equal to charge divided by volume, that is equal to what we call volume charge density. Right? Okay, if this is our body, how the charges are distributed on the volume of this body. This is to find the density. This is the definition we can use to find in one way. Okay. At the same time, this you concentrate here, quantization of charge. Quantization of charge, that is integral multiple of charge, which gives quantization of charge. If 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 is the value of charge of an electron, then how many number of electrons present in a body, that is denoted by n, multiply with charge of electron, that is called quantization of charge. See, he has given here, if the charge of an electron, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, is taken as elementary unit, that is quanta of charge, comma, the charge on any body will be some integral multiple of E here, integral multiple of E. That is what quantization it is. So charge on a body can never be plus or minus 2 by 3, plus or minus, it should not be in plus or minus or in ratios, right? Always it will be in integral multiple of basic charge, right? This is okay. Next, here he has given the difference between the charge and mass. I am not going to concentrate on that. That is basic thing it is. Yes, you may read this, right? Here he has given the difference between the charge and mass. Just you may go through this. Next comes how we can charge the uncharged body to, how we can charge the body. If the body is uncharged body, how we can charge this body? By removing the charges or by adding the charges to the body, we can make the body charge. So initially the body will have equal number of positive charges and negative charges, same number of positive charges, negative charges. If we add any kind of a charge, for example, if I will add positive, this body becomes positively charged. Or if I will remove positive charge and this body become negatively charged, deficiency of charge, the body get charged, it is, right? Okay. Next, so there are some 2 to 3 methods of charging. Are there. We can charge the body by friction. Right? So many examples we may see in our daily life. Just to go through this. Here I am going to concentrate on formulas and relations. These are the basic things. I am not going to concentrate much. And next, this is for charging by friction. Everyone know this, how we can charge the body by friction, right? And this is next, charging by induction. By the small process, we can charge the body. See, initially, let us just to go through this. This body is negatively charged. Both, say no, it is not negatively. This body is having both negative charges as well as positively charges. Body contains both initially. Randomly, both the positive and negative charges are present in this body. When I will bring the positively charged body nearer this body, this positively charged body attracts the negatively charged particles, and all the negatively charged particles settle in this surface, and remaining positively charged particles settle other side of the surface of the body due to the repulsion that we all know. And second figure will be like this, right? Okay, when I will ground, so all the positively charged particles will neutral with the ground, and this body remains only negatively charged particles. When I will remove this positively charged rod from near the body, and all the positively charged particles spread out, so that this body becomes negatively charged, right? So this is the method of charging the body that we call electrostatic induction. So another last method is there, that is charging by conduction. So that is not much important, everyone know that. So next thing is electroscope. So I am not going to discuss this. This is totally theoretical based. It is. Next important concept is Coulomb's law. See what the Coulomb he has given. Coulomb he has given to find the force of attraction or repulsion between the 2 point charges. That is, say force of attraction or repulsion between the 2 point charges is directly proportional to product of charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. If there are 2 charges are there here, let us assume charge Q1, Q2. Force of attraction or repulsion between these 2 charges is directly proportional to magnitude of the charges and inversely proportional to this square of this distance. So this I can write F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This is our formula to find the force of attraction or repulsion between the 2 point charges. Here epsilon naught is the permittivity of free space. Okay, we will move to the next. Okay, see here, just he has given here what I explained here. He has given this, right? Just you can concentrate. F is equal to 1 by 4 pi naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square, right? Okay, here value also he has given 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power 5 9. Just you may go through this. Next important thing is vector form of Coulomb's law. It is very similar to the previous what we have discussed, that is magnitude we have discussed. Magnitude F is equal to 1 by 4 pi naught Q1 Q2 divided by R square is the magnitude of the force of attraction or repulsion between the 2 point charges. Now vector form of Coulomb's law. See vector form, this is, see we know that say that vector form, to understand that vector form just you can go through this figure. Here figure. See here Q1 and Q2 are the 2 charges separated by a distance r, and first particle exert the force on second particle. At the same time second particle also exert the force on first particle. So here F21, this is F21, that means first particle is exerting the force on second particle. Next, this second particle also exert the force on first particle, that is F12. Second particle is exerting the force on first particle. So F12 and F21 are the internal forces, right? And say while exerting the force by the first particle on second particle, direction comes here. And at the same time for the second particle also. So we need to represent the direction here for both the internal forces F12 and F21. Just you observe this, right? Okay, just observe this. Okay, based on this discussion, here he has given, okay, that is vector form F12 is equal to K 1 by 4 is not Q1 Q2 divided by R square. R, say this is small r is the position vector which gives the direction. R12, right? Okay, this is R12. I hope you know how to represent the direction or position vector. So based on that, just I am explaining this. Okay, next at the same time F21 also we can define. F21, F12 and F21 are the internal forces of both the particles, so that both are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. So this is the vector form of Coulomb's law. And effect of medium. Say, if two charges separated by an air, F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 divided by R square is the formula, right? If these two particles separated by a medium, this is the figure he has given, then the dielectric constant will come here, dielectric constant. So regarding that dielectric word, we will discuss later. That is nothing but insulating medium, what we call insulating medium. So the formula becomes like this: 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught K Q1 Q2 divided by R square, if the medium is present between the two particles, right? Okay, next. Okay, see here. Concentrate here. Principle of superposition. According to the principle of superposition, say I am not going to state the principle, just you should know that, say, according to the principle of superposition, total forces acting on a charge due to the number of charges is the vector sum of all the individual forces. For example, here Q is the charge, Q1, Q2, Q3 are the n number of charges are there. Due to all these charges, what is the force is acting on this charge Q? So that is vector sum of all the charges itself. It is what the principle of superposition. So just I am going to define here. Okay. See, just I am scrolling this. Okay, see here, this is net force F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus dash dash, right? Vector sum of all the individual forces. Fn minus 1 plus Fn. Okay, say the magnitude of the resultant of two electric forces is given by magnitude of the resultant of two electric forces. Here, if we have F1 and F2 are the two forces on this charge, then this is the resultant force or net force, what we call, and here alpha gives the direction of the resultant force. So by deriving the expression, we will get this: F is equal to, or net force or resultant force is equal to square root of F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta. And to find the direction of that resultant force, tan alpha is equal to F1 sin theta divided by F1 plus F2 cos theta. Okay, some important things on this concept, that is for problem solving, remember the following: standard results. We have to remember these results. We have to remember these results. See, just you go through this, just you remember these values to solve the problems with the help of this, with the help of these formulas, right? Okay, we'll go for the next. We'll go for the next. Say, fundamental forces of nature. Just you only concentrate this. I'm not going to discuss this. I'm going to concentrate on formulas and relations only. Okay. Next. See, that is all about electric charge we have done. Electric charge we have done. That is all about electric charge. It is a property of a matter which experiences the force. If it is experiencing the force, then what is the force of attraction or repulsion between the 2 point charges? How we can find the force between the 2 point charges? That everything we have done. So to find the force between the 2 point charges, that is given by Coulomb's law, and already we have done that. That is regarding electric charge. Okay. Now, concept of electric field. Electric field, see, if it is a charge which exert the force around the charge up to a certain region, this zone I will call it as a field or electric field I will call. If any new charge will enter in this field and this charge will experience the force due to this source charge, otherwise it will not experience. That means this is the maximum region or space this charge can exert the force. So if any new charge will enter in this region, then that entered charge will experience the force due to this charge. So that is what electric field we call. This region or this space or this area I will call it as a electric field, right? Okay. Now you can concentrate here. So now I am going to define that electric field is defined as the electric field intensity at any point is defined as the force experienced by unit positive charge placed at that point. Force experienced by unit positive charge. Here he has given E is equal to force experienced by unit positive charge is known as electric field. Right, up to what maximum region this charge can exert the force, that region I will call it as a field of this electric charge. So I can call it as an electric field. So electric field is defined as the force experienced by the unit positive charge due to the source. This is electric field. Okay. Already we know the force of attraction repulsion. So this formula I can write in this manner also. This formula F means K Q1 Q2 divided by R square divided by Q naught also I can write. So this is electric field formula. So here one charge get cancelled, right? So again what we will get here. Okay, just I will write here. Okay, concentrate here. Okay, see here. So that what we can get, electric field is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q divided by R square. This is electric field formula. To find the electric field at a point due to a charge This is the formula we can use. E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q divided by R square, right? Okay, say some in detail things he has given here, dimensional formula and unit in CGS and unit in SI, everything he has given, just you may go through this, right? Okay, okay, see here, this is all about electric field. Okay, anyhow, now I am going to stop this discussion. So what we have done here, electric charge and field we have done. Electric charge and field we have done. So based on these two concepts, I am going to discuss some questions in the next class, right? Thank you.